Wow, that was, I guess as people, we talk about why we want to play matches in Horish. I think that's a pretty good example why. But still, regardless of where you were, when you got a team that played as good as we did in the first two sets, and then obviously we knew Missouri would respond, to come from behind at 24-20 and never lose faith, never lose sight of what we need to do, and made enough plays at the end. And I think that's about as thrilling as a finish as you're ever going to see. And I'm extremely proud of this group, and we're extremely proud of getting to move forward and represent University of Kansas in the regional or Sweet 16. And would also like to commend Missouri on a tremendous year. And a lot of teams could have come out after the break and laid down, and they fought hard. But this group fought a little harder.
We'll open it up for questions for the student athletes, please.
It seemed like the first two sets, especially, you guys had so much more energy and bounce, and maybe even attitude than they did. Is that something you kind of pride yourselves on? And was that a focus? I know you had a joust that you won at the net and kind of stared it down. I mean, I know that's part of the game, but was there extra tonight just because of all that was on the line?
Yeah, I think the crowd helped with that a lot. We were amped before we even got here. And we really pride ourselves on starting early. I don't think we've lost a lot of first or second matches this year, so that's been great. And that stare down, I was tired, so I was like, I didn't really know where to look. It just happened to be at her. No offense to her.
Yeah, does that help too? I mean, you guys don't have to look to just one player to bring energy. You kind of all do it. And I mean, Taylor, you've been on teams a lot around here that kind of had a little bit of that, but this seems to be across the board. No matter who's out there, somebody's going to bring energy like that.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of teams where you have to try to drag energy out of people, and I think over in Europe we got to know each other a little better, and I think we got to be more comfortable around each other, so that we can bring out our weirdness and not just yelling at each other. We're comfortable hugging each other, and they push me all the time. So it's just it's great to have the energy from everybody, and we feed off of each other so much that it's really helpful.
Sure. When Missouri went up 24-20, did you have any thought in your mind, okay, we'll just come back, we'll beat them in the fourth, or was it all about we can come back, we can win this?
No, not at all. I think we all made an effort that we were gonna get it done. We were down, but I don't think anyone had a thought in their mind that we couldn't do it or we couldn't come back from it. And I think we played really well, obviously, and that's what happened.
We side out. We know that Maggie's coming in to serve. She's our clutch server. We call her that during practice. So I think knowing that she was coming in and we can count on her and she's going to get the ball where it needs to go. And then if we all do our jobs, then we just knew that we don't give up the fight.
Why were you guys clicking on the passing tonight so much better than last night?
None of these guys
I
passed.
don't pass. But I'm grateful that they did. That would have been really tough.
Did you feel you were really on laying it up for him tonight?
Nah, I just kind of throw the ball around and hope somebody's up there, and they do a really good job of putting balls away for me. So
If we don't, she yells at us. So you got to be.
Taylor, you guys outblocked them, especially the first couple sets. I mean, how maybe did that affect the momentum you guys were able to build, just what you were able to do with the net?
Blocking's what gets me pumped. If you can block somebody, I don't know, I just get jacked about that. And, you kind of get in their heads a little bit if you can block them. And our pins were doing a good job of setting up the block, and me and Janae were just doing what we do every day in practice.
Can you remember playing better than you guys did the first two sets this season?
I don't know, that was pretty good. Everything was just flowing really well. It felt really natural, and we were all just really in tune with each other. So.
yeah.
What technically were you doing well besides the atmosphere of the building? I mean, to get off to that kind of start.
I think the passing was great. Our serving was here we
Passing
go.
and serving. Serving was
Side
really
out
good.
was really good according to the stat sheet.
84%.
So
84%.
84%.
All right.
Dang. So yeah, that's how we won.
First ball kill.
Yeah, first ball kill for sure.
What was the emotion during the day playing Missouri?
I think everybody was excited for this game right after we beat Furman. I think we've been waiting for this it seemed like forever, but it was only, a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were all really excited for this.
Were you almost rooting for Missouri in that first match?
We just watching. I have a friend that plays for Missouri. We got people that we know from playing from MSU, so we were just
Just watching.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
We're
Chilling.
just going to play whoever.
Take whoever comes in front of us.
Taylor, you've been to the Sweet 16 before, but you guys have never been farther. Are you excited to see how far you can go?
Yeah, I think now that 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us have the experience of the Sweet 16. I think we know what we're getting ourselves into going there, and as long as we play Kansas volleyball, I mean, we can go however far we decide we want to go.
Nisa, I don't remember if it was the first or second set, but you went up with Missouri's middle blocker and got the kill. Just what are you thinking about in that scenario when you're both up there, battling for the ball?
Well, usually I think middles are a lot bigger than me, so I go up a lot harder than they think I would, and I try to throw it with everything I have, and I usually win. So
All the time.
Yeah, it's true.
Even in practice.
that's pretty much what I think about Joust. I love him. My favorite.
That's what gets her pumped.
Kelsey, those last 2 kills to end it, are those some of the 2 most memorable kills of your career?
Yeah, probably. Starting now, I think, yeah. I'm going to remember those probably forever. That's awesome.
Me too.
Yeah, maybe.
You're right.
Anything else for the student athletes?
Jeez.
Question in the back.
Moving forward, you said earlier, what's Kansas volleyball? What is the rest of the city have to look forward to? What is Kansas volleyball?
We play together. We're a balanced offense.
We work hard.
Yeah.
We love each other.
Fight for each other.
And yeah, we win sometimes.
Thank you, ladies.
Good job, guys.
Thank you. I think we win sometimes. What?
That was deep.
What was more impressive, coming back from 24-20 or the way you guys played the first 2 sets?
It would be hard to discount the second set. And you talked about a joust play, and you talked about our blocking, and those are all momentum. That's when you deflate other teams. And Anise kind of plays that off, but she wins 99% of those just because she's a little pit bull, and she's that competitive, and she knows that's what her team needs. And then Susie set the tone in the second set for the way she blocked. But it's hard to discount being down 24-20 and no panic on our side, and making big swings when you need to. And Maggie back there just serving bullets. Maggie Anderson, if we're in trouble in a serving drill in practice, and they can pick one person to get us out of the drill, they're going to pick Maggie Anderson because she does her job and she does so many things for us. So I was happy to see her get on a little run back there.
Guys,
Just your second Sweet 16 appearance. The first one, it was pretty sweet. Is this one a little sweeter?
Yeah, first time, Jill, you do something, it's pretty cool. But I just think this team's maybe equipped to make a little deeper run, a little more balanced. And then you just got a player who can take over a match like Kelsey Payne did late. And that's good to have. But I'm excited I'm just proud of the team that got us there the first time, but this team is bound and determined to be unprecedented in all things they're doing, and that would mean hopefully to go to a regional and win a match or 2 and see where that takes us to.
Seemed like your back row was playing really up on the serves and not letting anything short in. Was that part of the game?
Yeah, they got 3 or 4 short servers that try to disrupt your patterns, and we went over that a lot in the pass and serve this afternoon, and I thought our kids did a nice job of pulling that off. And then we served short a couple times ourselves, which was good. But part of what they do, especially Khan, number 9, she can really move the ball on her serve, and it looks like she didn't have any aces. Well, they didn't have any for the night, which that's pretty crazy. So that's a great stat in itself if you're looking for stats. 0 service aces by Missouri.
How did you approach the Missouri angle of this?
Jim Marchioni thought we should have Fambro come back and talk to him before we started this match. But and then we talked about it again, and we said, you know what, these kids don't understand all that. Our players wanted to go to San Diego, and they knew if they beat Furman in one more match after that, they got that chance. Now I've had a lot of experiences with Missouri in a lot of different ways, as a coach and as a fan. But I got tremendous respect for the Krecklows and what they've done in their program. So it's probably a little more heated for fans that have been around a little longer than it is for the actual participants and the coaches today.
Missouri, one of the best blocking teams in the country, but you got to play one of the better teams in TCU twice. twice this year. How much did that experience help you?
Yeah, I think it did. And we thought there was places we could go, seams we could go to expose them a little bit, but they did a nice job of covering up. They did a good job on Rigdon, but when Payne's at the top of her jump, she's hard to contain. And Havili, with 40 assists again in 3 sets, found her in key times.
It seemed like you guys were serving a lot at the Missouri Libero. What was the reason?
They pass with 2 the majority of the time, so you pick, you thought, okay, let's try to wear 9 down. She takes a lot of swings. She has to pass a lot of balls. But then when we went in at 13 a little bit, we thought there might be a little bit of opportunity to expose that, so that's kind of what we went with.
How do you know, I mean, whether it's throughout the course of this season or before this tournament started or whatever, how do you know? Do you just get a sense from your girls or from yourself about what kind of run they are ready to make?
It's a hard one. We thought our pre-conference schedule at times might be a little stronger, but when we went to Wyoming and just beat a really good Wyoming team quite easily, the Duke match here, we saw signs. But I thought when we started Big 12 and we started winning on the road, and then we didn't get the result we wanted against Texas, but 99% of the people there said that's one of the highest level volleyball matches they've seen. And we got so much balance, Matt. We passed well, we served well, we attacked well, and we got a great setter. So that's a pretty good, and a great libero too. Cassie Waite was tremendous again. So all those things add up to a pretty good opportunity to do well.
Sure. Yeah, historically, obviously with college volleyball, it's so hard to crack that top group. I mean, it's always the same teams up there. So what do you tell your team about that, with crashing the party, so to speak?
Yeah, Kansas, we think Kansas has an opportunity to do that. And they put in the work. I think they truly love each other and playing with each other. And we haven't had very many bad practices. I can't really remember having too many bad matches. Count them on maybe one finger. But we want to be an elite team, an elite program year after year after year. And I think we're on our way to doing that.
Anything else for Coach? What was going through your head when y'all were down?
We called a timeout. I don't know what the second timeout was. Does anybody know? But I just said, guys, I don't know if we're going to win this third set, but we just need to start playing like we need to play. Forget the scoreboard, because if it goes to a fourth, we need to be playing well. So I don't know if that took a little pressure off them. Just do what we do. And then the next thing you know, you get a deuce game. I knew it was over then when we got to 24 all. But that's putting them in. We put them in 22-20 situations in practice all the time. You're down 22-20 now. You got to make plays, and that's what they said at the timeout. Hey, it's just like a drill in practice. Let's do it.
Coming back from 5 set points for them, for Missouri anyway, that's got to be rough. How do you keep your mind in that?
That is rough. And then you start pressing a little bit. And I think you start getting out of character. And next thing you know, this sport, momentum was all on their side, and then it shifted a little bit, and then there was a heavy shift. So you gotta love it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
right, we have junior Carly Kahn, head coach Wayne Krecklow, and junior Emily Thader. We'll start with opening statement from Wayne and then open up to student athletes.
Well, that was, obviously not the result that we wanted, but I think just incredibly proud of our group and what they've been able to do this year. I think I told them in the locker room to think about where we were the first week of August, where we started and where we ended up is really a pretty remarkable story. Picked to finish 7th in the league, actually competing, having a shot to win a share of a conference title, and then advancing to the tournament and making it to the second round. And so really, really proud of them. I thought we had a great season, and Kansas played a great match tonight. They did a lot of things really well. I felt like the third game, I told these guys in the locker room afterwards too, a lot of in these tournament situations, when you haven't played anybody, when you haven't played this team before, you don't really, you can look at video, you can kind of practice stuff, but there's no substitute for actually being out on the floor and actually doing it and dealing with it. And I felt like in that third game, we finally started to figure it out, timing, rhythm, just how to play the game. And it was unfortunate. I thought we had we had a shot to take that third game and push it to 4, but they made some really great plays down the stretch and they earned it. So they've had a great season and they're a very good team.
Open it up for student athlete questions, please.
Carly, what was the feeling there after being in a situation to win the third game and then with Kansas rallying to take that?
It's a little disappointing that we couldn't get that third set, but I'm just really proud of how my team fought. At the end, I thought that we've had a lot of heart in that third set, and we were really pushing Kansas. So I think that we have something to be proud of, and that we just wanted to have fun, and that's what we did in our third set. So just really proud of how the team responded.
Emily, a lot more balls started coming in the middle in the third game. You think that was a product of better passing, or was there something else going on to try to get more balls coming your way in the middle?
I think our setters just did a really good job of making sure that, Kansas's blockers were kind of on their toes with, where we were going to go with our offense. And I was just always trying to be up and ready. And if the ball came to me, cool. If it didn't, hopefully I was going to hold the block and get somebody a single. But I think passing, I think our serve receive really stepped up tonight. I was really proud of them because Kansas was they were serving really tough balls at us, and I think we really stayed composed and really got us some good offensive swings, and yeah.
First couple sets, Kansas was blocking really well. What was that like to deal with there before intermission, the way they were blocking?
They were blocking well. They're a good blocking team. I think that was I won't say rattling, but I think it was maybe frustrating because we were, in system. Again, our passers were doing a good job of keeping us in system, and, our setters were getting our hitters good looks. And, I think it's just hard when, two really good teams come together. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And Kansas had a great night tonight defensively. And I think that's something we can only take away from this and just kind of, file away for spring training and just kind of remember to, be prepared for that and just respond, in a more aggressive way instead of tipping or becoming kind of timid with our plays. I think going at them with aggressive attacks always can keep them on their toes and make them earn the points.
What was the atmosphere in the building like? Both bands were there. Was it intense?
Yeah, the whole time I was just really energized. I thought both bands are yelling at each other. It was a really fun atmosphere. The whole place is really loud, and in that gym especially, I don't think I've ever been in a louder gym than that. So it was a really cool experience for us because we haven't really played in really packed, really small gyms. So I think that it was just a good experience, and I felt like we brought our own fans too, so it was pretty exciting.
Carl, it seemed like Kansas was in a pretty good rhythm most of the night. Did you feel like you guys were serving fairly tough and they were handling it, or could it have been a little better serving?
I think that honestly, I thought we were serving pretty tough throughout the match. It got a little bit better in the third set, but you got to give credit to their passers. We're usually a very good serving team, and the fact that they were still passing 3-point passes is really good for them. So I think that we are still going to keep working on our serving, and I think that's still our strong suit.
Anything else for student athletes?
Emily, just for you, I mean, with that third set the way it was, you guys had 5 set point opportunities. Does that change the feeling afterwards, a sweep versus whether you guys would have at least been able to prolong it into a little further?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's always hard knowing that, the ball was kind of in your court. And, again, they made great defensive stops. They served aggressively. They didn't, stop coming at us. And that's just, again, that we just got to give credit to a great team who stepped up at the right time. And I think we did. We had the opportunity. I mean, as you said, we had it 5 times. So I think, again, that's, a feeling. Again, our libero, Lex, said in the locker room to remember this, to kind of remember this feeling. And, we have a whole year to prepare for next year and to make sure that if we are in this situation again, we're ready for it and we know what to do and we know to stay aggressive and to put it away and finish.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks.
Go ahead and open it up for coach.
Wayne, is there any weak link on this Kansas team?
Well, they sure make it tough because, in fact, we were talking about that, and that makes them really good. And that's what makes, if you're talking about somebody who's done as well as they are or as well as they have, you can't have an obvious weak link. I think they do I was very, they obviously are good in the front row, but I thought they just did an exceptional job in the back row tonight. I thought their defense was outstanding. And that really makes it tough because we got some pretty good swings, and they made some just fantastic defensive plays. They're just really good back there. They cover a lot of ground, and it's tough to put a ball down. So, you've got to be patient. You have to keep attacking. But when they're able to do that, it makes your margin for error pretty small. It makes it pretty small.
I feel like early in the match, you guys were sending a lot of high balls to Carly. Get a little one-dimensional.
Yeah, when we talked a lot about that in several of the timeouts, and again, you've got a lot of young kids, and I felt like usually the fail-safe when you get in those situations is people tend to get conservative. They don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to be the one that makes the bad play. So everybody gets safe, and so the constant message all the time was we've got to attack. We've got to keep tempo up. We've got to take chances. And in fact, in one of those, I don't know if it was the third game. I can't remember the score exactly, but Courtney. We were trying to run it quick to somebody, and we just misconnected, and nobody got a swing. But, I just walked out. I said, Courtney, you've got to keep doing that. That's okay. Just let's do it again. But you have to be able to feel comfortable taking chances, even though sometimes you're going to make an error. And I thought they did a better job of that, and that just changed the game. But that's what you have to do. They're long and they're quick to the point of attack at the net. So if we're just setting high balls, we've got 2 solid blocks up. And that just makes it tough. And then when you defend well around that, it's just, it just makes it really difficult to terminate play. So I felt like in the third game, we were starting to do that a little bit more. We started to go back to the middles a little bit more, lower the balls out to Carly a little bit more. So that helped a lot. And I think that's what helped put us in a position to win that game.
At 24-20, did you think y'all had it?
No. I don't think anybody ever thinks that. I mean, I felt like we were in a good position, to do that, but you still have to make plays. And it was going to take a really good swing. And like I said, they were blocking very well, playing great defense in the back row. So it wasn't like I was waiting for somebody to hit the ball into the net or something. And I told the kids afterward, they made some great plays. I thought we had it. We got one, and I think Jew got a good swing and just mishit it and put the ball to the net. I think Alyssa got a great swing, and their left side did a great job of coming over to help and got hands over quick. They just made some really good plays.
Coach, I know it's the NCAA tournament, but did this one feel any different because it was KU Mizzou?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't think it was a great competitive match, and like the girls said, you got both bands. It was a really kind of a cool collegiate environment. The fact that it was KU, I think the fans probably got into that more than the actual players did. But it was just a really it's a tournament match. You know, you two pretty good teams going at it and taking their best shots at each other. So it was a real, I think, you know, unfortunately, you know, we didn't get the result, but I think it was a great experience for our kids.
You guys have been such a good blocking team all year. Is it a surprise at all to see KU outplay you guys at the net in the first couple sets?
Well, you know, yes and no. You know, I thought we made it easy for them in the first couple of games to block because we were high, predictable, and we weren't passing quite as well to move, you know, and the key, you know, anytime, and we're a good blocking, you know, when you have two good blocking teams, what you've got to try to do is split them. You got to make them make decisions. You got to make them move. You know, you have to do that. And if you can do that, which we did in the third game, you know, we turned the tables a little bit more. They were out of system a little bit more. We got more blocks. And so it's just kind of that back and forth. In the first two games, they did a good job of keeping us out of system. And it allowed them to get the big kids to the point of attack. And that's what you want. And so we kind of played into their hands in the first two. We were able to make some changes and do some different things in three. But yeah, it's, you know, they're good. They're long. They get over quick. So.
You feel like they were picking on Alexa with their serves?
You know, yes and no. I think at times they were picking and choosing, but you know that's just what you do. It's what we do. You know, you're probing. You know, you're trying this person, you're trying that person, and you go in with a game plan and who you want to go after. And if it works, you stay with it. If not, you got to adapt and adjust. And so I think early on they're going at Carly. You know, I think they just served Alexa a few times. I think there were a couple of times when, you know, she kind of, you know, struggled a little bit and they saw an opening and went at it. But I thought she did a good job of really kind of, you know, regrouping and really steadying up and doing a good job. But yeah, I think, but you kind of see that. We were doing the same thing. You're trying to find somebody, something.
Did you notice how they pulled their back row up when you guys were serving? It seemed like they made a conscious effort to not allow anything.
Yeah, the short, you know, what we were trying to do a little bit is, you know, the passers were passing, you know, their deep zones pretty well. So, you know, the next option, you know, you try to find something else that works to disrupt offense a little bit, get them out of a rhythm. So we started to try to drop a lot of balls short. But that's what it is, you know. We adjust, they readjust, we readjust to their readjustment, and it's just kind of that back and forth. And so, yeah, I think they were pulling up a little bit, and then when we went deep, they were able to use hands a little bit. So, but that's just part of the game. You're just constantly, you know, it's just that, you know, game of chess. You know, they move and you counter move, and you just hope that your kids can execute.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you very much.
Okay, yep.